welcome back everybody. It's your host, Jeff Zeiser. How y'all doing? We don't need that. Today, we are continuing our study of Joseki. This is the one we haven't studied yet, that is to say, everybody's favorite, Hoshi, the star point, 4-4. Let me get that a little more centered. There we go. Wondrous. Okay. We already did 3-3, right? And to remind everybody, we talked a little bit about direction of play. And I'll remind everybody, because for today it'll matter. Okay, the star point, when people say it's for influence, right? Influence means fighting towards the center. But also, it means where is your direction of play. Remember, direction of play for the star point, you are shooting for the sides. So a perfect star point would allow you to extend, right, these anchors, the hiraki, right? If you hirakied, if you got your anchors on these side star points anywhere near them, right, that'd be great. Now, your opponent's probably not going to let you do that. If you can get one side from your star stone, you're doing great. If you can frustrate your enemy and he gets neither, that's bad. That'd be the corner, right? Or die all the way. Don't die all the way, everybody, but that's the point, right? Okay. So now the most common approach that's not a 3-3, right? We did 3-3 basic last time. Is the low, it's the small knight's move, right? The Kogema. So the Kogema Kakari. This is the most common. Now, the most common response, and again, you can like it or dislike it, doesn't matter, you should learn it though, is the return Kogema. Now, why would you want to play this? Again, studying our fun Joseki book. These are just my transcribed notes, everybody. Okay, so it has it has a couple advantages. First, why is it a Kihon Joseki? Well, here's what many of you who are still learning will like. Very few variations, right? It's generally, as the book says, it's more moto sukunai, right? There's not that many. So when you're new, it's a Joseki you can learn. The total variations in my book for approaching is only 39 variations. You're like, Jeff, is that a lot? No, it's low. High is 500, reasonable is 100. So 39 is a lower end of the variations, which means you can learn it. Now, the first question would be, where does white play next? This is what you should always learn. Today we're only practice one, but let me show you the three. There's 4 different ones. There is the most common, right, the Sagari. It's another small knight's move, right, another Kogema into the corner. That's the most common, that's one. There is a connecting, right, you hit under the stone, like the Tsuke, right, so you can just hit the stone. There's a whole bunch of other variations we'll look at later. You can even 3-3, that is one of the choices, and you can also hit over here the Tsume and hit it from the outside and force a response. Now you'll notice, remember I said the point of this stone is to be here and be here, hopefully without a bunch of white in there. This one is super aggressive, right? This is like a handicap game one you'd see, but it's attempting to frustrate that ambition. So we'll do this advanced version later, but that's where it's supposed to act, right? I'll show you one more time, right? Attach, descending, 3-3, outside, pressure. Those are your choices. But for today, we'll play here. Okay. Now, what is the most standard universe answer? 2 will diagonal play. Kosumi, right? Okay. 3, most common, extend, 2 stones. All right. So now, if you just look at white, generally the rule, right? 2 third line, right? Because 1, 2, 3, 2 third line, 2 separated stones that aren't too pressured, generally alive. This is looking pretty good right now, right? Okay. Now, black is attempting to protect this corner. It's still not safe yet. I'll show you in a second. This is the beginning of the continuation. Now you do have to learn the Mii, because white's next move will be something like this, when they eventually want to get some profit in the corner. That. Okay. Now, why should you care? The follow-up, there's a miai here. Whoever takes, you basically, and if you don't know miai, it means a move where one player should take one player should take the other. It's a fair trade. It's still like a handshake. Now, the best way to win a go is if you can get both parts of a miai, right? If you can get both parts, it's great. So, for example, let's say white goes here and does that exterior attack again. Black must go here. That same spot, remember that? Otherwise, you won't get eyes, and trust me, you can kill it. Unless the group can escape out, you can kill it. If you know this formation, make a living shape. If you're attacking it and they let you play, if it is white, right here, that's a dead group. And if you had, say, another stone out here somewhere, and you're keeping them in, or you have several stones and they're running into you, that's a dead group. So this is the first miai you should learn because it'll teach you a lot more. Now to give you an example, what should black do? Because again, a lot of times you'll be defensive, everybody, it's okay. White comes in. It's your prerogative to go one stone longer. Remember we talked about the two stone shape is safe. Let me double check I'm doing this right. Yeah, you are allowed to go one more allowed. It's safe. And so now, right, you've got basically 2 stone extensions, you're safe, and remember what we talked about before, you got your side profit. Right, you've gotten your influence. You're a little low, but this is a lot of getting out into the center, which is what you wanted. Now you might not know that's what you wanted. That's what one wants from a star point. So now again, obviously there's some continuations, right? So you're not getting that corner anymore, right? He's hooking, you stop him. There's some forcing moves in here. It's not great, but you now have this, right? And now black, there's basically a theoretical line now, right? Something going out into the center. You normally don't play this way, right? But visualize now, there's like this radiating power out into the center, so black's happy. They're glad they got that, right? So that's the goal of this. Now the hardest part for me to see too, I'm not throwing any shade at any of you, but this is a good thing to learn, right? When you play these shapes, they have intentionality. And again, remember if we talked about getting out to both sides, I'll be honest, this is the more frustrating shape. Like, don't let them kill you. Obviously take that. Now, there's some times where you don't have a choice. Let's say you have something worth more points, or it's a handicap game, or you're fighting a ko. Let's say white gets in here. Your only real good choice is start making shape on the outside. If escape. This will struggle to get eyes. But if you see now, right, like you're higher than this stone and you're above that stone. So now to chase you, right, we're running into the center. This one I would say don't use it in an even game. I mean, don't get trapped. But if you do, obviously run, don't just die. Because again, and if you see how big this is, probably a white stone here should feel terrible, right? Just look at that. Maybe black can live, but even if they can, it's terrifying. Probably the best way to kill black, from experience, something like that. Even if they capture that white stone, that group's going to die or run. And white's feeling pretty good. I've killed several groups. This is one of the first basic Joseki I learned, and then you can actually kill. But let's say you're a handicap game or something, and you get double approached, run. And again, if it's a handicap game, well, for demonstration, we'll show you, right? It means you have to have at least a couple corners, right? Let's say it's a 3-stone handicap game. So now, right, there is a statistical probability you can run to one of these corners. Now, if white somehow blocks you in, not as great. But you should still be able to run and try to make eyes. That's the dream anyway. So here you go, right? That was at one page. That's 4 subdivisions of one Joseki. I hope you enjoyed the study. And I'll go back to the fundamental shape. We'll do one more time, actually. Here's the corner. Here's the approach. Here's the response, right? The knight move. White comes on in. Black does the diagonal. White gets his profit. Now, this is starting to look like a real position. Do you see this? Whereas the white extension here looks pretty good. Now it's black's turn, right? But look at that. You're getting that attack we were talking about happening naturally, right? And then black has to do this, and vice versa. White could push, get black to run out, depending on the strategy that works. So you're starting to see how these shapes connect. We'll get into that more. That's the Fuseki. And even this, though, if you might ask, like, why would you want to do this? There is, because it's not really, you're losing, quote unquote, because you're not getting the sides you wanted. There is some late game cutting potential here with the wedge Suji, right? Because, like, what's white going to do? Under, out, connect. You see that? Like, now you're, like, chasing that group down the side. Gross. Don't play like that, right? Generally, if you're curious, I'd give the stone up. Because let's do the easier one, right? Watch this. Pushing out. Atari, right? That's bad. So probably white's going to, like, threaten Atari. Close the side. You see that? And that's solid, and it's not very fun for white. But you know if black descends, right? If black gets this stone here, this stone is in danger. So if you need it for life, the easiest way to save it, this might not be the showdown way to save it. Excuse me, any better players that watch this. But if black goes here and you're worried about the life of the group, let's say there's a lot of black thickness or even black's capped you or something. Let's make it really aggressive, right? Something like that, you're afraid you're not going to live, just do that. Extend once. You see that? So you've played where he's going to play, you've made it a little safer. Not saying it's 100% safe, that's not what I'm saying. But that, if you needed to defend or need the chance to run out, because like even here, right, you can kind of visualize there's now a gap, which white could run, connect, or connect to some other friends, like we have this buddy over here or something, right? So you can try to connect out, but that buys you some time. So these are fundamental shapes. Keep it in mind. I hope it's helpful. This is, I'm reading my book now. This is one of my earlier Joseki. So what is this, 2024? 2 summers ago I was studying it. But it's good. This is a good one to learn. It took me a while to click. But again, you want to learn this shape right here. That's the shape for you, everybody, and I'll show you twice. Just for science, right? Again, for attack and defense. Now on the channel, it'll go up probably before this. I haven't put it up yet. I'm going to show you the pincer variations. So what if you play this and black does that? That'll be coming. I don't think I've made it yet. For new players, most new players do this. Don't do that. I'll teach you Joseki for the next time. That one confused me for at least a couple levels of like 19Q to 17Q or something. So hopefully you enjoyed it. This is trying to keep these short. This is about 12 minutes. So thank you all for watching. Until the next move, it's your host, Jeff Zeiser. I'll see y'all soon. Hopefully you enjoy the content and at least learn something from these Joseki videos. See y'all soon.